I just sent you a Zoom invite.
Okay.
If you want to try that one,
Okay.
that would be grand.
I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah, we'll figure out getting the recording later.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, bye. Hello. I gotta let you in. Okay, let's see. Manage participants, admit. Unmute all. Are you there?
Hello.
How are you? It says ask Chris to start video.
Okay, hold on. Okay. Okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't see you.
I don't see you either. All I see is a white screen, your video. Or like a white screen. I see like your mouse moving on it.
Let's see.
What is going on here? I did this 2 days ago and it worked right. I'm not sure why the things aren't working.
Let's see.
Let me do it.
Edit.
My microphone is unmuted. That screen. I see you now.
Okay, start video. So I went to the top where it said meeting. I said start video.
Okay, hold on. Okay, wait. Start. Wait. There's something down there.
No, Coco.
Stop video. Let me look.
Oh, okay. Sharing is paused. Sorry, maybe it's me still. Sharing is paused. Bring your shared window to the front. I wonder how you do that. Stop it, Coco. New share. Nope. Resume share. about now?
One thing I have, it says mute, which I don't want to do. And then I have some that says stop video. And then I have share content. Should I push share content?
Stop video would make it seem like, let me see, manage participants. Okay, now let's see. Coco, no. Zoom share. Let's look at this. Invite, hide video panel, manage participants. Okay, maybe now because I actually had GoToWebinar was still for some reason going. Screen sharing had stopped.
I can see myself up there now.
Now I see you now. Hang on.
Okay. I can move some stuff around to make it look better here, but let me know what you need.
It looks just fine.
Okay, I'll move some stuff.
I can see you. Okay.
All right.
Now I think I've got it. Multiple.
Tell me how close to get, how far away, what do you want?
You were just perfect there. And it is recording, so we are good to go.
All right.
So, and we have an editor, so she'll do a great job.
Okay.
Hang on one second.
You disappeared, by the way. I don't see you anymore.
It's only you, but that's fine because they already know what I look like. I just done my hair.
There you are.
Okay. So I can see you, you can see me. This is great. Okay, so I'm gonna do a 3, 2, 1, and then we'll start going here.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Hello, my name is Beth Berry. I'm Vice President of Business Development for Real Green Systems. We're based in Walled Lake, Michigan. I'm broadcasting live today from my home office in Indianapolis, Indiana, because that's just how we roll. I have with me today my friend Chris Lytle. Chris was at the Solutions Users Conference. I had to look it up, Chris. It was January 2015, where you took on our founder, Joe Cusick. And who won that day in the Battle for Charity?
Well, you know, I think the kids won, the charity won. Joe still got a beating coming from me at some point because I took it easy on him, but I don't think it's going to happen next time, Joe. You better start training again because you were out of shape last time. I had to carry you a little bit. I'm not doing that this time. The older me's getting to be grumpy. I'm like grumpy old man. I'm ready to take you on and take you out.
He is really in great shape for a guy his age. Now, did he screw up your?
That's a backhanded compliment, Beth. I heard it for a guy his age. That's very backhanded.
You're right. Did he screw up your ear like that, or was that prior to Joe?
No, he didn't do anything to the ear. This is from years and years of abuse. So this is something that I don't think Joe can take credit for, but these are my battle wounds, and I take pride in having them like this.
So you're a man that needs no introduction, but I'm going to allow you to do an introduction before we get started with the topic of the day.
Okay, my name's Chris Lytle. If anybody watched any UFC fighting or boxing, my name is Chris Lights Out Lytle. Got that from many years of fighting. Fought in UFC for 11 years. I was a professional fighter for 13, in which I had close to 80 mixed martial arts fights and 15 professional boxing matches. Really enjoyed my time in the sport, but I've been an athlete pretty much my whole life. I still continue to train. Oh, I forgot. I came out of retirement and had 3 bare knuckle boxing matches as well. I had my last one a little over a year ago, and then I had wrist surgery, so I haven't really done any more. I'm doing more commentary now and putting on fights.
Very good. And where are you broadcasting live from today?
I'm working at the firehouse right now, baby. If you can tell in the background with my shirt wearing here, I'm in the kitchen at the firehouse, and I made everybody else get out so we could have some privacy here. Just
Nice.
us.
And how long have you been with Indianapolis Fire Department?
I've been on the fire department over 19 years now. So pretty much the whole time I was fighting, I was on the fire department.
Very, very nice. So we'll talk at the end of this about some of your charitable work, but I was thinking about who could I reach out to when we have been doing this webinar every day in Facebook Live, and our customers are saying, you know what's screwing me up right now at this quarantine is the health and physical fitness limitations. So
Sure.
I love Lifetime Fitness, and that your wife and I used to cycle together when I lived on your side. And my cousin Jennifer finally talked me into a Peloton. It arrived April 9th, and it took me literally 10 days to figure out how to put the shoes on. She had to send me a video, but I'm off to the races now with that.
Nice.
But I've got the Peloton going, but you know, indisputably, we are all going to emerge from this with new health and mental wellness habits likely. And I was able to see your wife briefly from a distance Friday, and she's just, as usual, hotter than a firecracker, one of the nicest people I've ever met, and she's looking great. So she hasn't let this become an excuse for her being stuck inside. Tell us about what you would recommend for those in quarantine. What type of habits should we get into, and what can you do if you can't make it to Lifetime Fitness or you don't have a Peloton?
Well, luckily there's tons of different things you can do. I mean, those places are great to go to because when you go there mentally, you say, this is my time to work out. However, when you have lots of free times at home, there's tons of different things you can do. The main thing I'm hoping that comes out of this is people realize one thing, and that's the number one thing you can do to keep yourself from getting sick or from the sickness to be as bad is by being in good shape. I'm hoping people realize what the people who are being affected the worst right now are people who are obese, people who are diabetic, people who are smokers, people who aren't taking good care of themselves. This is affecting them at an exponentially rate way worse. So I get we need to social distance, we can do this, but please don't, not take care of yourself and then complain to me about me being 4 feet away from somebody instead of maybe I work out every day, maybe I take vitamins, maybe I eat right, maybe I try and do this day in and day out. So I'm not quite as nervous about me getting sick as other people. Do I worry about it? Absolutely. I'm a fireman. I know that we have to be safe because we're going in and taking care of other people. But you have to do this day in and day out. This isn't a once in a lifetime event that's causing this. It can really be helped by you taking care of yourself. So I'm hoping people understand it's a daily thing I have to be responsible for, how I eat, what I put into my body, what I do outside. So you talked about my wife. One thing she's been doing, she's big into spinning like you talked about. She loves going. She can't go spin right now. What is she doing? We're taking walks every day because she doesn't like to jog. I like to jog. I'll go on walks with her. She's doing online classes. They're doing bar class where they have a chair in front of them and they're watching other people. You could do an old video. One thing I've done before, and I've gotten an old video of yoga, and I'm doing yoga in my living room. Like I love going to yoga classes. It might be embarrassing. I'm a big fighter guy, but man, I love doing yoga. I love stretching, but you can do that stuff at home as well. You just have to, you have nothing but time right now. You have to make good use of your time. I've seen people say, if you don't come out of this with, a new skill or a new hobby, it's not the fact that you don't have time, it's you. I remember I'd always be talking to people and they'd talk about coming to my gym and they'd say, I just don't have time. I don't have time. And I was like, you find time to do the things you want. I always notice that if somebody gave you Super Bowl tickets, you'd be like, I got to work today. You take off. You'll figure out how to make it work if you want to do it. And I notice about myself, I always find time, like I'll try to find time to work out every day. Why is that? Because I want to. It's a priority to me. If I can't do something else, that's fine. I got my work at it, and you can't do it every day, but you really try and do what you want to do. People have to get in their mindset that this is something, a priority to them to take care of themselves, and things will be much better. That's probably not even the answer to your question. What exactly was the question again, Beth?
That was exactly it. How do you identify? I'm used to going to the gym every day And there was something about laying my clothes out and preparing and going to spin class at the exact same time every morning. And then when that all went away, I spent about 3 weeks going, oh, how am I going to be fit now? Because I only have one kneecap. It was winter those first few months here in Indianapolis. I still run a little bit, although it's not good for me. But I think you're right. There are fitness programs that are absolutely free that everyone could access if all you used is your Google taskbar. And it's getting into that routine and saying it's just as important as anything else on your schedule. You have to do that every single day.
Exactly. I mean, it kills me. People really care about certain aspects. I'm like, I don't find that to be nearly as important. I mean, look at me, look at my hair. I shave it like this on purpose because I'm lazy, but I'm like, I don't take time doing my hair because I got more pressing things in my clock. So, one thing I've had it where it's kind of weird. I go to the firehouse and work out a lot. I'm not allowed to go in on my off days and work out now because the coronavirus. I think it's weird, but whatever, that's the rules. So I've had to come up with other workouts. So what am I doing right now? Well, I don't have many weights in my house, so I got a workout routine where I'm trying to do 500 push-ups in a day. So I'll do sets of 40, and then I'll do 5 sets of 40, and then I'll do 5 sets of 30, and then I'll do 5 sets of 20, and then I'll do 5 sets. I don't do this all in a row, though. I take my time, and then I'll try and find a way. I'll do, 100 pull-ups throughout the day, and then I'm trying to do 200 sit-ups, and I'll try and do 100 squats. These are all body weight things that don't require any weights. You don't have to go anywhere to do that. And I don't mind doing that throughout the course of the day. It takes me many hours sometimes, but if you don't want to do it like that, fine. Do 200 push-ups in 10 minutes or something, or whatever you want to do. And body weight squats. You can get your workout in. You just have to be creative and make sure it's a priority of something that you want to do and something that you don't hate doing, because if you hate doing it, you're not going to want to do it. But you got to be able to find things that aren't that bad for you to do. Some people love riding bikes. I think right now the best thing you can do is be getting outside. That helps you with your mental health as well as your heart rate and everything, because that's the big problem. I think people just sit inside. That's not good for people to be in there. That sunlight's very important, being outside. I think mental health is going to be tested just as much as your physical health at this point, and people need to find ways to make sure that they're getting outside doing things.
I love the going outside aspect. So in 49 states, of all of these that are united, and you have been close to politics in the past, so this won't surprise you, lawn and landscape and mowing has been considered an essential service because the grass needs mowed. You need to be sure you don't have mosquitoes. But in the state of Michigan, where we are based, the governor, nope, it's not essential. Do you think that's an overreach of an emergency power by an executive governor?
I think it's nuts. I mean, for the life of me, I can't figure out what would make somebody think you shouldn't be going outside. I was very happy when I saw Holcomb. He had, that's the governor of Indiana. He had his doctor was a lady on there, and she's saying it's very important to get outside right now. Exercise is a great thing for you, for your physical and for your mental health. You need to be outside. You need to be getting that vitamin D that comes from the sunlight. You need to be taking your vitamin C, your zinc. You need to be taking these things, but it is important for you physically and mentally to be outside right now. I'm not real sure what the people in Michigan were thinking. Now, they did try and do things where they're not wanting people to congregate together. They're not opening certain parts of parks where people would congregate, but the trails, yeah, you can still be on those things. And certain areas will be outside active. I love the fact right now when I'm in my neighborhood, there's a ton of people walking. There's people on their bikes. There's people doing things outside like they should be. And for me to have the government tell somebody they shouldn't be going outside and taking care of themselves, I'd have a huge problem with that. And it's amazing. I see why now. You guys had a pretty big protest not too long ago, and a lot of people were driving and honking and complaining about their rights being violated. And I understand some things do need to be done, but that overreach seemed kind of nuts to me. I can't believe that they said don't go outside and cut your grass. That's insane.
It is very crazy. And unfortunately, there's elderly or infirm that now can't go outside. They're stuck inside. It's allergy season, it's mosquito season in Michigan. So we're hoping to see that ease up a little bit. people like myself who, and a lot of people you and I know throughout their lives have either struggled with weight or anxiety from time to time. Those are the types of things that I think during this period of quarantine where you feel like you're losing control of maybe positive habits that have been put into place that are really struggling. Just from a discipline or habit standpoint, you are a guy that's achieved so much. And if you look at photos of you from a long time ago, it doesn't look like you were born to be the athlete that you've become. What are some of the mental and disciplinary tactics that you've implemented that those of us who are in quarantine that are just trying to keep our heads above water might benefit from?
I think the main thing, to me, it always comes down to one thing, and that's desire. I mean, what do you really want? And then you should be, I think all the people we're going to be dealing with are going to be smart enough to understand that this isn't rocket science. If you have a desire, you can make that happen. And I always look at it like this: if my desire to lose weight is more pressing than that chocolate cake, if I see that chocolate cake there, I'd like that. Yeah, but I want to lose 5 pounds, which is going to be stronger. You have to just keep focused, keep your eye on the prize. What is my goal, and what do I have to do to accomplish that? And once you start actually taking steps to accomplish goals, it becomes addictive. And then you want to accomplish those more and more. And after you break through and you just kind of do that for a little bit, it becomes so much easier, and you become addicted in a way to denying yourself that. I know every January 1st, since I quit fighting, every time I'll quit for at least 3 or 4 months, stop eating any kind of snack. So there'll be no cookies, cakes, desserts, nothing like that. And my wife was always like, why do you keep doing it? I was like, just to test my willpower and make sure I can still do it, because I'm addicted to that. I like it, and I like having that because it makes me feel good, and I'm happy, and I'm positive, and it becomes easy after a while just to not take that, to deny myself, because I know I'm doing positive things for myself. And that kind of transforms into every other part of my life. So if you're a goal-oriented person and you want to accomplish things anyway, this just helps, and it goes right along with that. You just have to change your focus from, I'm trying to get this sale, I'm trying to do this, and now I'm trying to do something positive for my body, because there's really nothing. I don't care how good you're doing in one aspect. Your body is super important to you. You only have one of them, and physically and mentally, you have to do things like that to try and push yourself as far as you can to achieve whatever you want. And that just comes from your desire, in my opinion.
That's interesting that you say that, and that it has to become part of your life. So for me, I've always picked, there's a family wedding coming up, or Annabelle and I, we're going to go to California, Newport Beach in a couple weeks. And then you look at the calendar and you go, well, that got canceled, that got canceled. Knowing your why is so important, and it has to be part of your everyday life. You can't just pick random events on a calendar and go, I'll be fit for that event. Your body doesn't know that. Your body moves on every day.
100%. And like I said, luckily for me, I've been doing what I've been doing for so long. I've became addicted to trying to accomplish things like that. And when I deny myself certain things, I know it's for a greater good. So even though it might be painful at the time, like every workout's painful, but when you get done, you have this euphoric feeling that your body releases dopamine because you're happy of what you have accomplished for yourself, and you have a good sense. I mean, if I don't go to the gym for a week, I'm kind of an ass. My wife will be like, you need to go to the gym, because I could leave the gym after a great hard workout and I'm dead tired. My back hurts, my arm hurts, and I show up at my house, it could be on fire, and I'd be like, it's all right. They're only possessions, But if I don't go to the gym, I'm complaining about who left the refrigerator door cracked, or just getting mad because I need to be in there in order for myself to be at balance. And I think a lot of people are like that. They just don't know it because they haven't worked out to physical exhaustion. There's a lot of beauty and a lot of good feelings comes from physical exhaustion. I think, like I said, that dopamine was released in your head because you're accomplishing good things and your body knows it.
Speaking of good things, and I've known you probably 10 years, so when your kids are growing up, to all of my friends of littles who are watching this, you have to hope that your kids align with kids who have really cool parents like yourself. So our daughter is together, and you're very active in New Palestine wrestling program. And I will never be able to thank you for all the kindness you've shown my Oliver over the years. And you're always there anytime anyone asks for help. And I know you've donated a lot of your time, energy, and efforts into anti-bullying. So a lot of people right now may be laid off, may be working from home, but have additional time. Tell us about the charity you're working on, and how would one find a way to give back, even if they're stuck in quarantine? What can other people do to help?
Sure. What I chose to do is called the Chris Lytle Foundation, obviously after me. But what happened with me was, I've been a firefighter for, like I said, 19 years. I've helped in a lot of different aspects of different things. I was going to schools a lot, talking with football programs, wrestling programs, anybody who wanted me to come give motivational speeches. And I kind of sat back and thought, well, I want to do something that I care about. And what do I care about at this point was, I have 4 kids. I've had 4 kids for quite a long time. My youngest son, Jake, has autism, and it really kind of forced me to rethink the way I see things. So I would look at Jake and know that there's nothing he can do at some ways about the way he acts. And I know he acts different. And it would kind of hurt my heart to think about the fact that some people might try and make him feel bad for something he has no control over. Now, luckily for Jake, he has a good support system. He's got good family, and the people of New Palestine know him very well, and they treat him very well. But not everybody's like that. And it really has hurt my heart to know how many people in not only, the state of Indiana, but all over the world, things that they really have little control over, how they behave in certain ways, and people get made fun of to the point where they commit suicide. I can't think of anything worse as a parent where your child wants to hurt themselves, or actually does hurt themselves, because of the way other people make them feel. Being on the fire department for this long, I've learned there's a couple of things that make people act the way they do. Number one, their DNA. They can't help that. Nothing they can do. Beth, this is going to be unbelievable, but can we pause this? I have to take a run. I'll be right back.
Yep, no worries. Thanks.
I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay. I'll
keep your distance during shift change by letting the off-going fire.
Can you see me?
Can you see me?
I can see you, but what's it? Can you see me or not?
I can't see you.
What in the heck is going on here?
But it could be me. Let's see here. Edit. View.
You're not getting anything.
Okay. Oh, let me. There we go.
You click it right. Yeah. So you just hold it. And then let it
Okay, we're back and we're recording again. That is so hilarious. So, you are a full-time firefighter and you had to run. I assume nobody was sick since you got back awfully fast.
Well, people were dying. We just really quick. We saved them really fast. So, when we're this good, it doesn't take a long time to save people.
You are like Superman. So we were talking about the charities that you've been involved in and about your foundation. And I love the story about Jake, your son that's autistic. Jake hangs out with us at Lil Kim's pool. Lil Kim's going to be 50 this year, by the way. And
man.
I know. He's just so much fun. He's a great guy. And tell us what the Lytle Foundation does exactly.
What we try and do is we go to a lot of schools, with the Boys and Girls Clubs, churches. We kind of went everywhere where there's kids and try and talk with them about several things. Now, I am not a believer. I feel like I'm more of a realist as opposed to an idealistic person, where what I mean by that is I don't go and try and tell every kid to be nice to everybody. I mean, I touch on that, but that's not realistic. I mean, you're never going to get everybody to be nice because Chris said to. That doesn't make any sense. So what I really try and focus on is I try and talk to kids about standing up for other kids who are having trouble standing up for themselves. For people like my son, like Jake, who, sometimes he has trouble verbalizing if he's having a problem. He gets upset, but I get really tired. You watch videos and you see these kids on YouTube and our Facebook or whatever, and somebody's being picked on, and there's tons of people around and they're laughing. And those happened at the high school I went to, Southport. There was a kid I found out who, had some form of autism, and he goes into a bathroom and and he was wearing a red sweatshirt or something. They go, "Hey man, that's our gang color. You can't come in here." And they like, "You're going to be part of our gang." And they kind of beat him up and then jumped him in, he said. And then he goes home and tells his mom, "Hey, I'm in a gang." And she's like, "What? You're not allowed to be in a gang." And so he goes back the next day and says, "I can't be in the gang." So they goes, "Well, we got to jump you again to get you out of the gang." And people recorded it. And there's all these kids watching and laughing. I'm like, how did not one kid stand up for that boy? I mean, I was embarrassed to know I went to that school, because I couldn't do that and sit there and watch some poor kid who doesn't even know what's going on be beat up because he has a disability. So I'm trying to encourage people to be that leader and stand up for that kid, especially if you're an athlete, especially if you're somebody who's looked up to. If you do something positive for somebody else, that will create waves. That will make other people want to be like, "Hey, this guy's doing that," and that could catch on as well. If you talk to 100 kids and 98 of them listen to you and they're nice to people, but 2 people aren't, and they could create a ton of problems. But if I talk to 100 kids and I only get 2 of them who actually listen to me and try and stand up for other people, that can make all the difference in the world in many people's lives. And a lot of times when you're dealing with this, where people are committing suicide, they just feel lost, like nobody's there to help them and nobody understands them. But when you get people who can help them and identify with them and help them, I mean, that can make a world of difference to people. I've been very encouraged. I remember we've had people get a hold of us and the foundation and talk with us and tell us how, they were thinking of doing something to themselves, and after talking with us, they feel better. It's just, you always say you want to help somebody in one person, and if you do, then it's just like, okay, I want to help some more people and more. It's addictive, just like anything else, and you just, one's never enough. That's horrible. You just want to continue to do what you can to try and make a difference in somebody's lives, and you just love it when you hear that this stuff is actually working. So I know you talked about, the stuff I'm doing and what can other people do. This was something that was personal to me. And that's why this has been a cause that I like. And so I can't tell other people what they need to do. You have to find something that's personal to them. What has meaning to you? What do you care about? And why do you care about it? And then figure out how to make a difference from there. If it doesn't have any personal meaning to you, it's not really something you're going to stick with, in my opinion. So you have to find something that makes you think about any cause, something that you're passionate about. And then try and go from there and figure out what way can I help out. He'll talk to people, talk to Beth, talk to myself, and I could try and direct you, or she could, or somebody could, but just try and figure out something that you care about very much, and that's the best way to go about it, in my opinion.
I thought about you a couple weeks ago because I was thinking, and I'm very blessed to be in an essential business, and we're very busy, even though we're working from home. But I thought to myself, one day when I have time, and to your point, you make the time. You've seen this with your daughters as well. I'm so troubled by the number of young women who grow up with such negative self-talk, negative self-image. And I was reading about in New Zealand, there's a concept called the tall poppy syndrome. And what happens is the tall poppy syndrome is where you want to cut off the poppy that's growing the tallest. So when you see someone that's emerging as a leader, it's this crowdsourcing of, oh, you think you're better than us, or you think you could do that, we're going to cut you off. We want everybody to be the same size. Like you've heard about the crab who, if the other crab is crawling out of the pot, they pull it back down to be with them. And you see that in certainly young women. I've seen it with Annabelle's friends growing up over the years, and it bothers me so, whether it's body image or just what could these young women do if they weren't being held back by all this negative self-talk? And I'm not sure what or how to do, but I'm committed to finding some way to assist in that, because when I walk into the workplace and people talk about, well, women aren't as prevalent in the workplace, it's usually because they hold themselves back. It's not because there's a glass ceiling or anything like that.
I couldn't agree more. And there's so much pressure. I always think it'd be, I'm glad I was born, as a male, because I just look at how difficult I think it's a different kind of difficulty for women. But that is a huge problem with it. And I feel like girls tear each other down way more than the guys do. Just being around you talking about, some of our daughters, same group of friends, it's kind of brutal sometimes. And I don't understand it. And, there seems like there's always one alpha who's trying to dictate what's going on and exclude certain people. And it's so hard. It's so easy as an adult to try and explain this is meaningless. But to them, it's everything, So I think some of the best things that I figured out, I love doing, we've done some seminars, just like a self-defense type thing for women. And it's only for women. We put them on at some workplaces, and some of the men try to show up and we're like, we can't have you here. But I mean, I just think when you are confident in yourself, being able to take care of yourself, I think that translates over into other areas. It's very difficult to give people confidence. So one thing I can help them with is confidence in how they can take care of themselves. Sometimes that translates over, but you just have to continue to work to give people confidence and explain to them about what's an important thing in life and what's important in the real world. And a lot of these superficial things that you're caring about in the big picture really don't amount to a hill of beans. What do you really care about that for? What, try and really have people focus. What is important to you? What do you want out of life? And then all we're worried about is getting there. I remember I actually went to somebody's house. They asked me to come to their house and talk to their son who was being bullied. And one thing I was talking to him about, I was like, look, it's like the best thing that you can do right now is, channel this negative energy you're getting, these feelings you're having. Because everybody I know who's done positive, great things, there's something negative that happened to them that's fueling them. There's a fuel, some fire burning in that's making them do things. Because if people are fine and happy, it's like, I'll just do this, that's fine. I mean, but something's driving people to achieve greatness typically. Usually it's something negative. I don't really know if anything positive that motivates people. But when negative things happen, it depends on how people handle it. Some people, they wither and die, and some people use that as fuel to continue to work hard every day to get better grades so they can become a doctor or whatever. And the best thing they can do is use that to motivate them to do great things, because I promise when those people who are making fun of them in high school and they're, having a bad life later on, doing some, bad job, and the people who are being made fun of are the CEO of a company, there's a little bit of, I would say the best revenge is living well. And that's exactly what I try and tell these people, to use that negative energy to force you to work harder every time. I mean, I can say that for my fighting career. I know, one of my losses, it made me work harder every time. I think I never want to have that feeling again, never. So when I would be tired and I'm trying to maybe you don't want to do one more round, I'm like, yeah, you can do this because, I might lose again, but I'm never going to lose because I didn't work as hard as I can. Just knowing that made me feel good, made me feel that, gave me a certain level of confidence. So I just really want people to try and push themselves as far as they can with that.
I love it. Success is a really good deodorant, isn't it?
Exactly. It can cure a lot of ailment, and it's funny, like the older people get, the more they kind of understand there's different levels of success, and just knowing that you've done everything you can is one level, hey, all I can worry about is the things I can control. I'm not going to worry about anything I can't control. That's a waste of my time, energy, and effort. So I'm going to worry about what I do. And if I do that I'm successful already, because I've done everything I can, and you can sleep well knowing that, I'd hate to be one of the people who you see these guys like, man, I could have done this and I could have done that. And it's like, why didn't you? Well, I didn't work. I'm like, man, that'd be a terrible legacy to have. I'd hate to have to think about that every night. So just focus on what you can do and do it. And then you don't really have to worry about anything else.
So tell me what you think is going to happen with professional sports for the rest of this year.
I think a lot of professional sports are going to open up, but it's going to be to no audience. I think you're going to see the NFL, especially, they're going to start off, and I don't know if they'll have an audience for a while. I think they're going to, but the thing is, this is only going to be good for professional sports who have a good television or pay-per-view ability. If you're a professional ping pong, I'm sorry, you're not playing for a while, because they're not going to have a lot of people on TV or whatever. I don't know. Maybe they don't have much cost. But I'm just saying, I think there's going to be a lot of NFL and possibly NBA and whatnot. And I think they're going to try and make it to where it's closed off. They're not going to have any fans, but they're going to be able to watch it on TV. I think fighting is going to be the same way. That's my, area of expertise. I already talked to the people I do the bare knuckle commentary. They're talking about going down to Florida and putting on a fight with no fans, but putting that on pay-per-view. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that for a while. I'm hopeful that here before too terribly long, we can get some crowds together because, sports are just better when you're actually there live and watching them. That's kind of what I'm hoping, but I'm not real sure when this is going to happen. I definitely feel the immediate future is going to be sports with no fans.
And what about college football, which funds so much of a university's athletic program?
Yeah, once again, that's the question. That's the biggest question I've had because they have – there's only really two sports that make money in college, and that's football and basketball. A lot of people complain about all the perks they get, but I'm like, yeah, they're the engine that drives a lot of the other sports being able to actually compete and participate because they're bringing all the money. They're not going to be bringing in that money, so they're going to get some from the revenues from television, but it's not going to be what it normally is. So I think people have no idea the repercussions that are going to be felt from what's going on right now for a long time to come. I don't know if things are totally going to change long term, but I think there's great possibilities they will. And college sports might be different as we know it. They might have to cut back on certain things, and things might TV can only carry it so much.
And let's talk about your fighting, because I missed it the last time you were in New Orleans, and I know you had a wrist injury, but are we going to be able to see you fight again?
Well, it's funny. I was just talking with somebody. The wife was there, and they were like, "Chris, I saw this guy just signed. Be a great fight for him." Like, yeah, I know. I'm thinking the same thing. And the wife's like, "What? Huh? You're done. You're retired." So we're gonna have to talk with her. I'm working on her right now. I'm saying, well, if they'd offer the right amount of money, we'll see. And I did have wrist surgery, and it's been a little sore, but I don't mind if it's sore. I can deal with it. So we'll see. The problem is I like doing the commentary. I'm 46. No, what am I? 45 right now. That's right. So it's like at some point I need to stop. Maybe that's now, maybe not. I don't know. I probably should stop, but I like competing.
She's told me that you were retired from the day I met you. She just clearly never got the memo.
Yeah. Well, there's different levels of that. Sometimes you kind of say we have to say it, and then it's all debatable. I've always told her there's always a price. You know what I mean? I hate to say it, if they offer me enough money, I'll punch my mom right in the nose if they offer me enough money. But just kidding, Mom, I wouldn't do that.
The anti-bullying guy that's going to hit his mom.
Right. She'll know about it. It'll be for a price.
It'll be for
hey, those fights, they're not about bullying. You know that. They're paid. They're paid.
I do know that. Well, we want to have you back at the Real Green User Conference, either probably a rematch with Joe Cusick. Our new CEO is an ex-Navy guy. Spent a year in a submarine. He's pretty tough too. So we'll see who we can get you in the fight.
We'll do both of them. Do both of them at the same time or something. I don't care.
Oh, I like that. But you are been a fan favorite, and everyone who attended that is asking, when is Chris coming back? So that was a lot of fun.
I can't wait. That'd be fun.
That would be very fun. Do you think that we will look back on this period of COVID-19? Well, for one thing, I don't believe that we're going back to normal, but don't you think the next few months will be a period in time in which we reference later on, certainly to our children, and that once you emerge from this stronger, that you'll do hard things and you can do harder things. And it is a point in time that you can point to and say, because of that, I can do this.
I would hope so. I hope there's a lot of positive things that can be taken out of this. Like I've already talked about, like taking care of yourself as one, but, being able to come out and say, yeah, things have been too easy for us for too long, I think, as Americans. And I think it's not like that the rest of the world. These people have to fight tooth and nail to get everything they want. And that's why a lot of those people from China, those people from Uzbekistan, those people from Mexico, they work harder. That's because they've had to. And we don't understand that. Hopefully this can be something that can be a positive, like, I have to do whatever I can in order to be successful. A lot of people are losing lots of money. A lot of people are losing their businesses. There's going to be a lot of tough times right now. We're going to have to, buckle up and get tougher and make things work. And I think we're about to learn this is going to be, life isn't quite, we've been very fortunate for a long time. And I think that's about to change. And I kind of welcome it because I think we need to be a little bit tougher, mentally tougher, and work harder. And I think that's one positive thing we could get out of this is we got to be mentally tougher.
I love it. You are one of the kindest people I've ever met. You've always helped me. Anytime I call and say, hey, Chris, will you? You always say yes. I thank you so much for your friendship. I really appreciate everything you're doing for today's youth. Cool is the new kind. And I think you really are a trendsetter in terms of every kid that you're touching may think twice about what they sit down and say at the lunch table. And then they grow up to be adults who hopefully carry those habits forward as well. And it's a nicer world in which we live.
Well, I hope so, Beth, and that's too cool of you to say. But hey, as soon as this thing's over, we got to get together and hang out. Maybe Chris will let me come hang out with you at the when you guys go out to eat. I FaceTime you guys usually, but
Every single time we butt in on our girls' night out, we love it. Well,
I embarrass on you.
I know. I look forward to the day I can give you a real hug, but thank you very
All
much
right.
for your time today, friend. And
Okay,
where can
can't
we
wait.
find out more about the Lytle Foundation?
ChrisLytleFoundation.org. Go ahead whenever you guys want. If you have any schools you guys want me to come to, please let me know. I'm always looking for new schools to go to. I've been fortunate enough to get a few grants from a couple of businesses, and we're just waiting for people to want us to come. I can't go. I've had a couple of schools I was supposed to go to that got canceled because of this. So we're just always looking for new places to go. People go, why didn't you go to this school? Well, they didn't invite me. I can't just show up. I'm coming to that, but I mean, I go in and try and get my own funding and give all that school district, all the elementary schools, we try and get them a book to put in each one of their classrooms. And it kind of goes over the point that we talked about standing up for the kids and being their hero. And just let us know. I'd love to come help out anywhere I can, especially, Michigan. We're pretty close to Indiana, anywhere around here. I've went over to Germany. I've went over to Connecticut. I've been all over the place doing this.
That's awesome. Mental health, suicide prevention, these are things that just have exponentially become more predominant over the last few years. It's going to become worse after this event. So we need more people like Chris Lytle in the world. And I encourage you all to go to ChrisLytleFoundation.org. Is that the name?
Yeah. Yep.
Wonderful. We'll put the link on our website, and we'll figure out how to get you in the ring with Joe again. Everybody would look forward to that.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for your time today, Chris.
Bye-bye.